So I think I finally managed to get it to work. So hi, hello everyone again. This was quite a bit of stress for me right now. I had some technical issues with my keyboard. My keyboard wouldn't respond anymore, but I think it should be now. We should all be set now, and everything should be fine. Okay. First of all, hello. Nice to see you again after 1 week of break time. I would like to thank you that you're joining me again for a microscopy Saturday microscopy live stream. Today I want to do a little bit of microscope upgrade, as I already announced before. This is a half completed polarization filter, and I've got a microscope here, and I want to upgrade this to polarization. And I have not done this yet. Honestly, I've not tried it, so I don't know how well it actually works or not. So we're gonna find out together. It's a little bit, how do you say, the unexpected that I like. It's a little bit improvised, like every time. As always, feel free to comment and ask questions. And we're going to take it from there. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm going to do today is the following. First of all, a quick info about this microscope. Then what I would like to do, and I'm also not only going to upgrade the polarization, but I'm going to also exchange the objective, because how am I supposed to hold it? Yeah, here, this is basically the objective that I would like to add here. Okay. Exchange one of them. And and another thing I want to show you, and this is a little bit experimental. I now connected two cameras to this microscope. This one is a microscope camera, just a small eyepiece camera. I'm going to unplug it and show it to you. And usually it's a little bit unstable, so I hope it doesn't deconnect. But I just want to show it to you how it looks like. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, it's a very small USB camera. Okay, that's the one. Yeah, right now connected over USB 3. Yeah, so that is the one. And the other camera is, I'm going to also show you, that is this one over here. That is a view through my mobile phone, right? And notice there is a little bit of text written here. That is because it's a free version of the app. So there is, so we just have to ignore that there is a text written over it. But that is basically a mobile phone that is connected. I just want to show it to you. This is how it looks like. Okay. So with a mobile phone adapter, and the eyepiece is here, right? And that's basically, and it goes, and in this case now, it goes over Wi-Fi into the computer, right? It's wireless. And of course, as you can see, yeah, here we go again. Yeah. So the reason why I connected two cameras, because I wanted to polarization work, and this basically means that the background is going to be sometimes quite dark, and I'm a little bit worried that I'm not able to get the full dynamic range. So I'm also going to be testing those two cameras at the same time. Okay. So we're gonna take it from there. So I will be using this microscope and not the main microscope that I normally use. A short piece of info about this specific microscope. It is an Amscope microscope, and I basically, I just recently got it. A company sent it to me, and I'll be also making a review video of this. I've been just experimenting around with it a little bit, and I was quite happy with it otherwise, because it's fairly nice and compact. But I've got already microscopes. So I said I got to do something meaningful with it. So I decided I'm just going to upgrade it together with you, and we're actually going to test how well it actually works. Okay, but there will be a separate video on review video on this. Yeah, that contraption on that phone is purely mechanical. Why is an app needed? The thing is the following: in order to connect a mobile phone, like I have, which you cannot see. You know what? I'm going to move this over carefully so maybe you can actually see it over here. This is just right a little bit off the. This one over here. You cannot see it properly. Where is maybe you can turn it here. That's the one. It's a little bit better, right? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, so you see this. This is the regular microscope camera, and this one over here is the other one. The reason why I need an app is because normally mobile phones are not designed to actually take a video feed and put it into a computer. So I actually need two apps. I need an app for the mobile phone and I need an app for the computer so that they're able to communicate. And then there are two possibilities to communicate, either over USB or wireless. And I was not able to manage to set up the USB connection. So right now it's set up wireless. Yeah. So yeah, yes, it's you have to go into the so-called debug mode and so on. It's a little bit cumbersome, right? However, a USB connection is a little bit more reliable. So what I'm going to do therefore is before I do that, I'm going to now step you through the process, and I would like to do the first things first. I would like to exchange this. Where is this? Here, this objective over here. Okay, and in case if you see this round line over here, right? Just ignore that. That is the border of my green screen. Yeah, I've got a green screen in the back behind my chair, and this is the, how do you say, the plastic border. Where is this? This one over here, right? Yeah. So ignore this, yeah, and just in case you're wondering why there's this, yeah. So this here is my green screen, so to make this a little bit transparent, just for your, yeah, so that you're not confused. So basically these are fairly, how do you say, fairly easily available objectives, and yeah, very common. Those microscopes sometimes have the same optics. And I would like to exchange another oil immersion objective with one of those here, because I would like to also try polarization with this one over here. And so this means I have to take out the oil immersion one. And I don't like oil immersion. I already said this several times because it's quite messy. And I'm going to insert this one here. Okay, and we're ready to go. Okay, so this is step number one, and we're going to see if this actually works. So this is going to be a little bit of a, how do you say, an experiment, and I need to put this one here away again. Okay. So, as a matter of fact, there are many because people want. There are many ways. There are many mobile phone adapters. I like this one specifically because it's no nonsense. It's very stable, and I bought myself a separate eyepiece just to to always keep it connected. Yeah. So, and now the fun part starts. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to switch over the the desk view. Now it's turned around. That is intentional, okay, because now I've got the right side up view here, okay, and now I can work properly. And look what I prepared here. This is something I 3D printed today, and I glued a polarization filter on it with the purpose of putting it here on the microscope over the lamp. Okay, you can see over here. Yeah? So this will actually. Can you, yeah, this will actually go over the lamp, right? Here is the switch, yeah, and so this is number one, and I'm going to, I glued it on here, and I said I'm not going to prepare everything. I also want to do something directly on the live stream. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to remove the protective plastic film. I've done this already also on the bottom side, and over here, I'm going to now cut it out. So in case you don't know what polarization microscopy is, very beautiful crystals you can observe. Okay, and it's a very easy thing to do. Many of you, some of you probably have already tried it out. I like every now and then, to also do some polarization microscopy on this channel. Yeah, and that's a linear polarizing filter, and number one is already finished. Of course, many of you probably don't have a 3D printer. Just put the foil directly over the lamp, yeah, or use some kind of a cardboard, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm just reading. Yeah, somebody also replaced the oil immersion with a 60 times. So I'm just putting it now over the lamp here, yeah, and then I can turn it. This is kind of a little bit difficult to see, right? So here it is, yeah. And it goes over here. So that's the easy part. And now comes the interesting part. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take off this part here, the microscope head. Okay. Look, and we can actually have a nice look into it. I have to untake. There's a screw over here on this side. I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to carefully lift it off. And here it is. Okay. So, okay. So this is basically one side, and on the other side I have to be careful because I still got my camera and everything, mobile phone, everything connected. It looks like this. Okay. Yeah. So, and what I will be doing is the following: is I would like to insert a filter, a polarization filter right in here. Okay. So that basically means that that all of the objectives would be then would receive then yeah, polarized light. Okay. So, and this is the second thing that I would like to do. And I'm going to take a polarization filter, and they can be bought quite cheaply online. And really, I've not tried this before. I don't know how well it actually works, whether we're going to have enough light or too little light. We're going to see. I just realized I have already one piece cut out here. It's not very nicely cut out. I might make it a little bit smaller. Okay. So that you can see what I'm doing here. Make it a little bit smaller maybe. So that I can make it fit directly. I wonder if it fits in here. Yeah, it's highly improvised, okay? It's a little bit of a proof of concept. So, and I just drop it over here directly as it is. Here we go. That's it. Okay? Yeah. It can't fall in there, and it'll just stay in there as it is. So, and the head goes back up again on here. Okay, it's again, it's upside down. Put it on here again, tighten it, and we're ready to go. Okay, we're ready to go. So, this is now, as I always say, the hour of truth. Luckily, the microscope is also battery powered, so I hope that this actually will last. And we now have basically, I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to change this around again over here so that you see it better. Yeah. Yeah, so this is basically, yeah. So a little bit of theory now. Why not insert, and I also tried that, if you've got eyepieces, why not just put the how do you say, the filter, the polarization directly into the eyepiece? You could cut it out and put it in there. It does not work. And the reason is the following. It actually took me a little bit of time to figure this out. It is because in here, in the microscope head, there are prisms that redirect the light. And those prisms completely depolarize the light. They completely mess up the polarization. Right. So this means that, yeah, we have to actually insert the filter before it reaches the prisms that are in here. Yeah, so that's a little bit the problem. One way of doing that, and some of you have already seen this before, is by actually putting the filter directly over here, over the slide. Yeah, like over here, like this. Yeah, you just basically put directly over the slide between the before it reaches the objective. That's that works for low magnification, but for high magnification, of course, there's not enough distance, and especially if you have a wet mount, for example, then of course there's going to be water. It's messy. It's really messy, right? And not quite as convenient. So putting it actually in there, in the top here, and I've seen that. Yeah, and this can be confirmed. Yeah. Jesse Ever Smaller confirms that this also works. Yeah. So this is actually something that I would like to try out. I also want to tell you another technique that I tried once is the following. I'm just going to take out again one of those objectives here. Okay, just to show you. Okay. It also works, but it has certain disadvantages. It's also possible to use double-sided tape and glue the filter over here directly over the little opening here. Where is this? Here we go. You can actually also glue it directly over here, like this. Yeah. So, and then instead of in the head of the microscope. So I've also tried that, also works. But yeah, this basically means that the orientation of the filter is probably going to be different for each objective. Yeah, it's not quite as convenient and easy. So another thing I would like to say is that, yeah, of course, does it not take away some of the light? That's the question, right? I mean, the polarization filter, as you can see, is not completely clear. It will take a while, but you can forget about it. If you do not want to do polarization microscopy anymore, then you just remove this the ring from the lamp, and you'll be fine. Yeah. So yeah. So that's basically, you just drop it in here, and it'll be fine. Yeah. So, and now actually the actual hour of truth. Okay. And here I'm a little bit concerned about the dynamic range of the camera. Right now I have a normal thing in here, a normal, it's a dandelion. It's not really one of those polarizing, yeah. And if I turn it, yeah, you can actually see that something is not quite the way I was hoping it to be, okay? And that is, it does not completely become dark. Okay, that is already shows me that I have some issues here. Okay, you see it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is why not? That's something a little bit strange, right? So let me see if this actually here it does turn completely dark, but down here it doesn't. Okay, that's a little bit strange, I have to say. It's one of those demonstration effects. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, and honestly, I'm not setting this up here. Yeah, I'm going to check if indeed I might have forgotten the, how do you say, the plastic, how do you say, protective plastic cover. I have to get it out here again. Just a second. Let me get it out here. So if there's a protective plastic cover still on here, then of course this can mess up the polarization. And I don't know if there is or if there is not. Okay. It doesn't appear to be like it. Let me just check. But actually should be okay. And we can just make, because when you cut it, you can actually see that there is the plastic film separating. But over here, there does not seem to be any. It looks pretty clean. So let's try it again. It does become completely dark. It's kind of interesting. So let's give it another try. And if this doesn't work, then I will actually be trying. Then we have to actually resort to placing the filter at a different position. Okay, so I'm going to remove now the slide. Okay, and you look at this. Now it works. Why is that? Seriously. And I have already an idea. See, this is the way it's supposed to be, right? I rotate and it becomes completely dark. As soon as I put the slide in here, it doesn't become completely dark. And I think I've now found out, honestly, I'm not setting this up. I think I've now found out the reason why. Let's do the following. Yeah, here at the side it works. Look at this. It's actually, look, here it's dark. And there where the specimen starts, it's bright. And the reason is, it is interesting. The reason is because this slide, the actual specimen, let me change this around to the desk view again. It's the proper desk view over here. Is actually, so it's the default was the slide. Let me see if you see this. This the specimen here. Let me see. Are you able to? Is it able to focus? Yeah. The specimen here actually is. I don't know if you're able to see this, but there is is almost like a plastic film surrounding it, right? Yeah. And this, basically the specimen seems to be like almost like a plastic film, and this depolarizes the whole thing. Yeah. This kind of depolarizes the whole thing. Yeah, and I think that this is the reason. So what we're going to be doing is we're now going to actually try some real slides here. And what I've got here is the following. This here is now a vitamin C, which I prepared. Yeah, it's not a plastic cover slip. That is the following. It's not a plastic. I don't know if you're able to see this properly. It's not a plastic. The cover slip is glass, but actually the specimen itself seems to be embedded in some kind of a plastic film or some kind of a, I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult to see. Yeah, so let me point this. Yeah, so you've got a fairly large cover glass on the outside here. Yeah, a fairly large cover glass on the outside. And then actually the specimen in here, if you look very carefully, I have a real problem holding it. Yeah, you can actually see very slightly that the actual specimen itself, yeah, it almost looks like it's on tape or something, you know. Yeah, there is a small, yeah. And this somehow depolarizes the whole thing. Yeah. It looks like tape, but I can hardly imagine that it is. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen this already on several slides. Yeah. And yeah, cannot explain this. Yeah. So this is indeed, I tried to research. So if somebody of you actually knows or is able to figure this out, I was not able to find out. Yeah. Normally the specimen should not be yet in another thing, or maybe it's some kind of a resin, maybe a resin block that has been sliced. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. So this is yeah, interesting. In any case, doesn't matter. Now we got that figured out. So in principle, it works. I'm going to now put this as vitamin C under the microscope. So and now we are going to actually test it. Okay, using let's put this away so you see the whole thing. So that's I made a vitamin C slide, and now we're going to have a look how this looks like now. First of all, with the microscope camera. Okay. I'm going to turn up the light. So this is using the 4x objective, and now I'm rotating this filter here. Okay, yeah. So that's now without polarization. I'm rotating this one here, and you get these beautiful colors. So it actually works quite nicely. So that's vitamin C. It does look a little bit dull, the colors. So let's have a look how it looks like through the mobile phone. You see you see that how do you say the field of view is significantly larger. Yeah, the field of view is significantly larger. See it also keeps on refocusing as well. So maybe is there a possibility to kind of no, it doesn't allow me now to kind of fix everything. Yeah, but this already shows you the big difference in field of view. Okay, so that's the lowest one. Again, vitamin C is always very pretty. So we go up now to the 10 times. No, that's already 60 times. Oh, that's here 10 times is the other direction. So that's 10 times. We go here. So that's how it looks like. Again, you have to ignore the text. That's the watermark text. Still, I'm always actually it looks better even when looking through it. But I'm still always a little bit surprised that even mobile phones work quite as well as they do. What I should do now is probably do increase. I don't know. Is there somehow a possibility to increase the color contrast? Let me try this. Filters. Can I add some contrast filters? Color correction. Let's see. Contrast. There is some possibility. I don't know if this saturation. Yeah, so there is a possibility to play around with that. Yeah. Okay. So that is yeah. So yeah, put a piece of the protective film from the polarizing sheet on top of the rotating one. Okay, so that I'm going to do that now. There has been a request. I'm going to now put the see that's now one of the plastic sheets. Look, and if you now rotate the plastic sheet as well, look at this. I'm now rotating the plastic, this sheet here. This is where the protective yeah, plastic sheet. If you add this over it, and if you rotate that, you can play around with the colors as well. Yeah. So that is is it possible to eliminate the colored circles from photographed images? I'm not quite sure which ones you're referring to right now. Okay. So it works like a wave plate, a lambda force plate. We go up with the magnification. This is now other direction 40 times. Okay. That is 40 times. You see there's a little bit of dust and dirt you're already able to see. Okay, and now let's compare this again to the microscope camera. Totally dark. We have to turn up the brightness. Yeah, and I'm also opening the condenser a little bit. Same magnification, but look how different the field of view is. Yeah, this is quite instructive. That actually, I sometimes think that those mobile phone cameras actually work quite well. Yeah. Throw a polarizer into the light from an LCD projector. Yes. Yeah, if you haven't, yeah, because an LCD projector also has polarized light. But again, look at this here. That's the one from the from the mobile phone. That's the one from the microscope camera. And now the hour of truth. Now to the 60 times objective. I've never gone that high up before. It's the first time, honestly, it's the first time that I'm actually trying polarized microscopy with 60 times. Yeah. Here. Wow, look at this. This is already very sensitive. And not very nice looking, obviously. Yeah. Ah, I see now. If when photographing using the third photo tube, I have circles at the center of the image. Ah, yes. If you try the following. If you're taking pictures through a photo tube and you see some stray light and some circle, try the following. I just the recent video that I made in this channel several days ago, last week. I basically talked about Köhler illumination, and I made something to put over my lamp to make a tiny hole to limit the stray light. You might want to try that. Watch that video. It's just the most recent video that I uploaded in this channel. Yeah, because indeed stray light and can cause glare, and then you might get some weird light artifacts. Yeah, and this is 60 times with with polarized light. You see, every time when it changes the thing, it tries to refocus. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. Okay, that is a little bit annoying. Yeah. Do you have geological thin section slides? No, unfortunately, I don't. I know that those geological thin section slides can be very beautiful because they're polished rock. This must be what I heard. Is it must be incredible. Look at the dirt. Incredible amount of work to actually polish it down. But I do have a couple of other slides that I would like to look at together with you. Okay. You tried the whole modification, but it failed. Okay. Okay. So can I see the condenser? I have the same microscope, and my polarizing setup only works if, okay. I guess the question was for me. So I'm going to change this back here to the desk view. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I have is, I need to put this down here like this. This is basically the polarizer. The condenser is here, and I put nothing into the condenser. Okay, so there is a filter holder, a swing out filter holder here. I can't even get it. Ah, drop the other one. So, but this filter holder is empty. Yeah. Theoretically, of course, you can also put the polarizing filter into the filter holder, but I chose not to because I want to be able to turn it. Yeah. So the filter holder. So if you see black or in something, you'll just have to make sure it's all the way in here. Okay. And then this goes on top here, and then you can play around with it, or use a piece of cardboard ring, or just place the filter on top as it is. Yeah. So what I would like to do now is I want to look also at another crystal, and then let's have a look at a couple of other samples. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm demonstrating this on Tuesday with potato grains. Look what I got here, potato grains. Here it is, a potato. Okay, that's what I also want to do. Yeah, so I'll be also doing some potato grains here as well. So I would like to place now this here in. You don't see this, what I'm doing. So here we go again. See, this goes in here. Yeah, and let's have a look. Yeah, so that's basically urea. I'm turning this again here to give it maximum contrast. Yeah. You see, this is, yeah. It does look a little bit washed out. Yeah. And over here is where is this? This one. Oh yeah, over here. That's looks actually better through the mobile phone. Yeah, you see, I have to yet stabilize the whole thing. Yeah. Here, when we go over here, then we can actually see, now it loses focus a little bit. And I'm turning this to make the background all black. And here we already see the problem that I was worried about. Instead, is the whole issue with dynamic range, right? And this is something that I kind of expect also with the starch grains that I'm going to be testing out in a minute or so. That is, if the contrast is too high, then the bright areas are going to be overexposed. And yeah, and the dark is going to be dark, obviously. Yeah, so that's a little bit the problem. Yeah, it's the whole thing with the exposure time. So with my other microscope, and the other microscope camera, I have way more control over the whole thing, and I can control the exposure time much better. Yeah, so let me see if I can actually. No, you see, it does not allow me. It does not allow me to change any. Yeah. To change any exposure time here. Okay, so in case you also want to get video or images from a mobile phone into the microscope, there are a variety of apps that you can use. I'm just using DroidCam, the free version. That's why there's this text over here. But there are also other other apps of varying quality, I have to say. I personally prefer those that can actually communicate not over Wi-Fi but over USB, because the connection is simply more stable. Okay, so anything else that I want to say? I guess we're just going to now do the following before I move on. I want to show you something, which is so I'm going to remove this here. I'm going to remove this here, and I'm going to switch on this one over here. Why is this dark now? Let me see. Is there maybe not enough light? See, that's the camera. Could it be that it disconnected? I have no idea. I'm going to deactivate it and activate it. Ah, here we go. Okay. It was no problem. So there's something I want to show you here. Or is this? Let me show you this. Here, some arrow. How do I move the arrow? Oh yeah, I have to arrow. Here we go. Do you look at can you look at these dots here? The dirt here. Did you see? Okay, very slightly. Yeah. The thing is the following: that this dirt, when I rotate the camera, I'm rotating. It stays on the same place. So this actually means that there is the dirt must be on the sensor or on the glass plate. I should just show you where it is. Over here, there is again the desk view here. See, this is how it looks like. Yeah, so the dirt can either be on the sensor or on the covering glass here. And there is actually, I found a way of actually how to figure out where dirt actually is. What you do without actually opening it, do the following. Yeah, you take it out, the camera. Maybe you can actually, can you see this or not? Let's do the following. There, you take it out, maybe now in the corner here, right? You take it out, right? And when you actually tilt, look, when you tilt the camera, you can actually see that the dirt where the arrow is also starts to move, right? This is because as you change the angle of the camera, the shadow is cast in a different direction. So this actually could be a sign that the dirt is actually not on the sensor, but maybe on the glass, the front glass over here. Okay, so that's simply also something that I just wanted to show you. I discovered this while setting up everything for this live stream. Yeah, you change the angle here around, and then you see that the spots, the dots, they also move. If it were on the sensor, I think it wouldn't move as much. Yeah. Yeah. So if you zoom in and out, it disappears. Okay, so the question is now the following: why are you not using your Canon camera? Okay, because it's connected to a different microscope. that's the simple reason. Okay, so here, if this is basically the setup. Hi, yeah, that's the setup with the and the Canon camera, the one that is over here. Yeah, different microscope. Yeah, so that's the reason. Yeah, I've not currently not been using this microscope because I wanted to. Here now you can also see the green screen behind me. Yeah, so this is the reason why I've been actually using. Yeah, because I wanted to upgrade this because my Olympus, my good microscope, does not allow me. It has polarized light, but it does not give me this control that I can actually turn the filter like this. Yeah, so this is the reason why I wanted to upgrade this one over here. So let me quickly check. Yeah, so I'm going to do now the following. I'm going to, of course, as always, move the microscope away now. Let's have a look at a couple of starch grains because that's the thing that you're always looking at. Here we go. That's the thing that because that's the classic. That's the classic. Let me put the microscope a little closer. That's the classic specimen to test polarization. I've got a potato over here, obviously. Yeah, and okay, ice. As crystals. I don't know if it's directed to me. Okay. I tried. Ice is difficult. Snow, for example, possible but difficult because, of course, it melts. But you can make very nice impressions of snow crystals. Now I'm just checking where I placed my microscope slides. Can this be? Here they are. Okay. So here we go, and a small amount of water. So I need to get a pipette. So here we go. So a little bit of water. And starch grains, as you probably already know, you do the following. Take the potato. Take the dull end of your knife. You just scratch and dip. And we're finished. Okay? I can already see there's lots of potato starch grains on here. You see it's already quite cloudy. So it's actually one of the easier specimens to prepare. And again, the hour of truth. If this works. So over here, yeah, I will remove any excess water with tissue paper because I'll be going again to very high magnifications. Should be okay. And we are again ready to go. Let's have a look again at this one over here. Yeah, I see that. Let's make it dark. See, the camera tries to compensate for the exposure. So, see those dots that you see? Oh, they're already there are lots of air bubbles here. Here we go. Look at this. Okay. Yeah. Again, this is it's a little difficult. The camera tries to those tiny dots that you see are the starch grains. And we move up here to the next higher one. Yeah, and here we go. Yeah, that's as expected. You see the starch grains, while visible, they're completely overexposed. Yeah. So next one over here. Here we go. Yeah, you see. Yeah. You see over here. This is. Yep. And next one. This is now 60 times. Yep. And yeah. So that is yeah. I'm mixed feelings. First of all, yes, it does work nicely, of course. However, you see the starch grains are way overexposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly turn it here. Yeah. And yeah, and yeah, it looks nicer when you look directly through it. So now let's try it with the other camera over here, with the microscope camera. This is, of course, very large. Let me center it, because maybe we are able to see the different layers. Okay, here maybe. Very, very delicate. See, and I'm already at the maximum brightness, so what I have to do is I have to try to open the condenser a little bit more. You see, that's already a problem, right? So I'm using my 60 times objective, and focus is very delicate and not enough light. So what I could try, of course, I could try to go up with the gain maybe. Let me see if I can do that. Configure video. I can go up with the... is there a possibility to exposure? See? Nope. Exposure does not... does not give me a lot of exposure control here, this camera. So, and let's go back to the Droid one. Yeah, here, that's the other one. So yeah, it's gonna look much nicer directly looking through it, but this kind of shows again a little bit the limitation of the dynamic range of the cameras. Yeah. So there is an off-topic question. I'm contemplating buying a stereo microscope from Euromax. Yes, I have one. The one that I'm using is called the Nexius Zoom, and I'm very, very happy with it. Then, yeah. I need to choose between different stands. What's more precise, a rack and pinion or pillar stand? I personally prefer the rack and pinion stands. So that is, I don't know if it's a question of preciseness. Interesting. Oh, it interrupted. Now we're back. Interesting. Yeah, so there was a short interruption here. So very quickly, there are different types of stands for stereo microscopes. I personally prefer very stable, unstable connection. I personally prefer the not the pillar stand, but the rack and pinion stand. But the pillar stand does give you a little bit of possibility also to swing out the microscope a little bit to the side, right? The rack and pinion is only vertical, but the pillar stand is not only vertical, but also allows you to turn the microscope a little bit sideways as well, if you need that. Yeah. So very unstable connections here. That's the case if you're basically if you're using a wireless Wi-Fi. Yeah. So let's go back to the microscope camera here, and here we go again. So here again are the start screens. Now you can see them move around a little bit. Yeah. So let's have a look. Okay. Okay. What time is it? I'm going to do the following right now. Because just for your info, what I've planned for the next upcoming weeks, months or so, I would like to, of course, try also different techniques. I would like, of course, to experiment also with oblique illumination here and so on. But for right now, let's do the following. Maybe I find a couple of nicely prepared slides here. Number 14. These seem to be marine diatoms. So let's see how good they actually look in polarized light. Let's see how well they actually look in polarized light. There's something there. There is definitely something there. But I have to tell you, I'm not seeing a lot. Let's open it up a little bit to make it a little bit brighter. Some dust and dirt. Maybe we can find some better. Here we go. Okay, so these are basically diatoms. Marine diatoms can also be round. So, and these are, of course, silica diatom shells. Let's see if they are polarizing, and probably they are not, okay? So, but there's something quite interesting here. So, just to show you a little bit over here, yeah, that is this diatom, which is not very well visible. I'm going to close the condenser a bit. Here we go, increases contrast and depth of field. Okay, let's go up a little bit with the magnification here. Wrong direction. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, let's focus. And when I cross the condenser, you don't see anything. But what you do see, and maybe some of you have already noticed, are that there are sometimes fibers, yeah, like the one right now at the top, yeah, which appear quite nicely. Yeah, so this is so polarization work is also possible to detect certain structures that basically you would not see otherwise in that high of contrast. Yeah. Dental floss. If you can get some dental floss and separate the strands, they work great in polar. Thank you for the recommendation. Never tried that. Okay. Why do diatoms not appear in polarization? Well, because they are made of amorphous silica. So amorphous means that it's like glass, and if they're not crystalline, then they do not interact optically with the polarized light. Now you're going to say, well, what about this? What about this thing up here, right? Why is this shining, right, and bright? It's not crystalline either. It's some kind of maybe a textile fiber or microplastics or so. And sometimes it's like this, that if a certain structure is very irregular on the inside, then this completely messes up the polarization, and it simply shows up as a bright structure. Yeah, because it kind of destroys the polarization, and then basically it appears bright on a dark background. Yeah, and other structures like those diatoms, they don't interfere with polarized light at all. They just let it go through, and then it disappears completely. Yeah, so that's a little bit yeah. So you've got see a lot of things here. Let's have another look here. Where is most of them over here are. Let me have a look over here. Number 4. That's also a permanently mounted slide. There's Daphnia and Cyclops. Sometimes you are able to see in some water crustaceans, sometimes you're able to see that they have eaten stuff. That's all dust and dirt. I have to find them. Where are they? Here's one. Okay. These are water crustaceans. Honestly, I'm not really happy with the contrast here. Okay. But let's turn this down. Look at this. Okay. Do you see this bright spot here? Either it's on the slide, or sometimes you can actually look and see that there is some stuff in the digestive system that those critters have eaten. This looks more like an artifact, yeah, on the slide and not something, yeah. Those slides here are quite old, actually. I mean, this shouldn't make a difference, but here, sometimes I've seen that. Yeah. Also, not very interesting. Let me have another look at something. Unfortunately, I don't have the one that I wanted to show you. Where is this? There is something else. Number 9. This. Okay. So okay. Okay. Sometimes. Yeah. Again, here quite interesting that contaminations like the fiber that you see here. That's yeah, are actually much easier to see. And this kind of shows that especially synthetic fibers I found shine quite brightly. Yeah. Oh, okay. Spikey's shed skin. Where did I put it? Just a second. Okay, I think let's have a look here. That would be interesting. I hope this was the one. So here is something. if you remember a few weeks ago, I put the exoskeleton of a dust, not of a carpet beetle. Here it is. If I turn it, I see microplastics and dirt and dust and fibers. But the exoskeleton does not really seem to be polarizing a lot. Okay, so that is the skin of the carpet beetle. See, not polarizing. So I think we're definitely better off with crystals. Yeah. And so here, look, there is other stuff here. Huh? Yeah, it's quite interesting. What else do we have here? Yeah, I've got some other things here. Okay, but this one here, Spike itself is still doing fine. Just in case you don't know, Spike, it's a carpet beetle that I have. Yeah, these are the Pfeilhaare, the hair. Yeah, the locust wing. We can try. This one is the wing of a locust. Okay, but you do see that. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, but you do see that I would say the image quality with those cameras is also not quite the very best. Yeah, so I'm still looking for lots of empty magnification, especially with the microscope camera that I have here. Yeah, so let me quickly do another one. Over here, I've got something else because I do want to find something that is calc number 3. I don't know if I'm able to see this spicules. This is a sponge, actually. But this is also highly sectioned. See, another one of those slides. When I turn it, it does not go completely dark. Right? So this again, yes, look. Here, I'm going to show you again. This is again one of those cases where I have to focus here. Difficult to see where the specimen. Let me turn this light off here. Is mounted. It's very, very difficult to see, but maybe you're able to see that over here. It again looks a little bit over here like there is a square tape in here. I don't know if you're able to see that in the reflections here. Right? So this is where the specimen is mounted, and this is depolarizing it. I have no idea how they're doing this. It really almost appears like they somehow, after they have microtomed it, they somehow put it on some tape and then transferred it using some tape. Yeah. So that is the thing that I'm a little bit surprised here. Yeah. Okay. That's yeah. There is a question about the Discord. I don't have the link now, but there is now. I did not make this, but there is now also Ever Smaller made a how do you say a Discord server where you can also share some ideas and pictures and chat and so on. Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't have the link now with me. So, but I'll do that the following. I'll add it later into into the chat or into the description. Yeah, I got some questions here. Maybe I mentioned several of those. Yeah, I think I've answered all of them here. It's just some of your questions in case I missed some of them. Okay. Yeah, no, luckily I already answered them. Let's have a look at another one. Where was the? There was actually somewhere. Okay. I hope that this one actually is a little bit more interesting because this one is a wheat grain. And where is this? And this wheat grain actually contains um, starch grains. So what you see here is the cross section of a wheat grain, and those tiny things that you see here are actually starch grains. And again, we have the same problem that the way that they mounted this, it completely destroys the polarization. Huh? If you go, for example, over here to yeah, maybe here a little bit. You see, yeah, you can see the starch grains light up a little bit here. But if you go all the way to the edge, where's the edge? Here, do you see this? Here's the edge. And when I turn this, then you see that, yeah, this one over here on the right side, this is seems to be some kind of a plastic film or something, right? And it never turns completely black. Yeah, and this is also where the specimen is mounted. And this one here, that's the one without the plastic film, and it gives you a nice dark background. So this is quite weird. Not weird. I mean, I know that this plastic film, if it is plastic, actually depolarizes light, but I have no idea how they actually mounted this specimen. Again, over here, you can see, and I've seen this. Where is this? The desk view. Yeah, again over here, if you look carefully, you can see that. Where's the scissor? Okay, for pointing. Can see that, yeah, there. This is the grain, right? And then around it, you actually see very lightly. You see again that this is actually mounted in some tape. Yeah, this is kind of yeah, interesting way of preparing a specimen. Normally, what you do is when you make a microtome cross section, you have them floating on water, and then you using a brush, you carefully transfer it directly on a microscope slide. But here, a lot of these slides basically have the specimen mounted on some kind of a plastic film. I really, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of you are able to research this. I was not able to find anything. Yeah. So, what else do I have? Yeah. Next one. So, number 3. This one over here is actually one that works quite well in dark field. So, the radiolarians. Here, at least, we are able to get it a little bit darker. See, the camera kind of moved a little bit. Have to recenter everything. And yeah, of course, the dust grains and those. Yep. Nope. Again, mostly. So let's do the following. Let's go up a little bit with the magnification here. Yeah, the whole thing is a little bit shifted, unfortunately. So let's make it a little bit brighter. Yep, I see them. I see them now. And when you close it, yeah, again, nothing. So they are also basically not polarizing. So this basically means that if you actually want to see some nice crystals or nice structures, I would recommend actually that you grow some of them like vitamin C or other crystals on a microscope slide. So then, yeah, most of them are, yeah, that's a little bit of a pity because those ones that actually would be polarizing, they essentially are mounted in this, on this plastic film where we're kind of not able to see that. What I can, however, do now is the following because, yeah, I would like to sugar grains. I don't have sugar with me right now. But I can try to organize this. Just a second. I'll get some crystalline sugar. Okay, if you bear with me, maybe for 30 seconds or so. Okay, I am back. Got some powdered sugar and some regular crystalline sugar here. So let's have a look if how well they actually work. Of course, the powdered sugar is very very rough grained. So, where did I put my spatula again? Here it is. And so I'm going to quickly show you the desk. Okay, let's put it here. So that's basically one thing. So it's probably way too much. And well, where? Other direction. Here we go. And this one over here is just regular sugar. It's gonna be enough. So powdered sugar, and there's too much powdered sugar here. I'm just going to put a cover glass on top of it without water, simply to stabilize this a little bit. So it's going to be the so-called the classic dry mount here and here, just to stabilize it a bit. So let's have a look at those. So, where is this? You don't see. Let's take this away. So here we go. So this is basically powdered sugar over here on the left side. Where is this here? Oh yeah, way too bright. And we have to focus, and we turn down the brightness. Yeah, of course we know that, and ha! Here we go. Yep. So let's go up a little bit. So powdered sugar looks like this. I feel like adding a little bit of water and seeing it dissolve. Yeah. And regular sugar. Regular, I mean, powdered sugar is also regular, obviously, but it looks like this. No, well, just a second. This doesn't look like it. Let's go down with the magnification first. Maybe I lost the focus. Here we go. So let's go up a bit. So that is now sugar. So where did I put the request to add the protective film? Here it is. Up. So I'm going to add the protective film right over it. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, this protective film. Yeah. Makes it a little bit look with a slightly bluish background. And here. Yeah, I just have to say, if you're actually looking through the microscope, then it will actually look much nicer and better. Yeah. Fibers of my clothing in polarized light. Sure. Let's try to organize some fibers from my clothing. Can I do that? You will never guess where I got those fibers from right now. But some people think that we scientists, we biologists are a little bit weird. Where is this? Let me turn this around. Where is this? Here we go. Look, I got some fibers here from my clothing. And in this case, I would like to actually add, no, I'm going to put them away here. I'd like to actually add a little bit of water here. Because sometimes if you add water, then the contrast will look nicer. And where is this? See, I'm not centering this. You want to see how this actually works. Let me put this away. Let me put this away. Here we go. So, and then I'm also going to add a little bit of water to the sugar. So these are some clothing fibers. Cover glass on top. And let's have a look at those. I need to remove the other one here. This one goes on here. So let's put the camera away. It's a little bit crowded here on my desk. So, and here we go. Yeah, again, there's plastic film. The protective plastic film is still over it. If I rotate it, you can see that it can change the colors quite nicely. Yeah. And without the plastic film, without the protective film, yeah, it looks a little bit less colorful. Yeah. And the background will go all the way black. Yeah. So let's go up 40 times. Here we go. Looks nice. Yeah. So this is basically fibers from my clothing. Yeah. So yeah. And I would like to now try the following. What time is it? It's already over an hour. And I would like to try to add a little bit of water. Do you have? Basically, yes, it's correct that many of those fibers indeed are hydrophobic. So oil should also work. But experience has shown that water evidently also works. I suppose it's a combination of cellulose fibers, which are hydrophilic, and like polyester fibers, nylon fibers, which are also synthetic fibers. Yeah. How would this compare to dark field? I don't have a dark field filter right now, but I can tell you how it would look like. In dark field, you would actually see very often that it's not quite as colorful, because if you zoom in now into one of those fibers, you can actually see that sometimes the fibers, depending on their thickness, actually change color. Yeah, within the fiber, and in dark field, it's more uniform in color. Yeah. So this is a little bit the difference. But what I would like to do now is the following. I would like to see now if actually by adding water to the sugar crystals, we would actually expect the polarization, of course, to disappear. Okay, this is I don't know, they're not, I lost already many of these sugar crystals here, but let's try that. Let's add a little bit of water. Yeah. Not so. Here we go. Yeah, see, that's again the problem of, and this is now a dissolving sugar crystal, and you can see it goes around. Yeah. Again, here a little bit the problem with the dynamic range, where the sugar crystal is simply too bright. Yeah. So, yeah, where did I put the protective plastic film? Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically how you're able to observe this as well. So if you want to add color, plenty of things to do here. Okay. Okay, with my setup, I find I get way more colors with a protective film in place, but I use 2 layers offset. Aha. Okay. Yeah. So maybe it has to do also a little bit with the type of protective film that you want to use. I just want to show you maybe as a last little thing the following. just to illustrate to you, of course, you can also use just regular sticky tape. I need to again switch over here. Let me put all of those slides away. Here, if you have this here, and if you use some sticky tape, just put the tape over it. And where is something sharp, like for example tweezers, and then you scratch it. Okay, and then let's have a look at this under polarized light. Yep, then you can actually see how the scratches look like. Yeah. And not only that, but the tape itself also polarizes light quite a bit. Yeah. And when I put the other protective film over it, then I can again change the colors. So plenty of things to play around with. And also sometimes if you add now a second layer of tape over it, let's say, across it, then you can actually see that the place where the two tapes overlap, the tape is also polarizing. And this way you can actually also I think they use it in physics as well to detect stresses in plastics, because every time when there's a stress or a tension inside the plastic, then it changes the polarization of the microscope, of the light. Yeah. Okay. Maybe call Tissue Tech cover slipping film eliminates need for cover glasses. Tissue Tech cover slipping film. I will have a research on this. I'd never heard of those. Okay, that's interesting. Cover slipping film. No, thank you. That's interesting. Yeah. So I'm going to have a quick look at some of the questions. I think a stereoscope live stream or simply samples with top light illumination would be cool, especially with moth and insect wings. Okay, suggestion taken up. I'll do I've got a nice stereo microscope here. Why not do a little bit of stereo microscopy? Sure. Okay, thank you for the recommendation. Okay, so fibers from a cloth, from clothing. Okay. And what I've done now is I simply collected some fibers, but what you can also do if you want to collect fibers from clothing, and we were just talking about tape, and it's of course quite easy. You take tape off, and what you do is the following. You take some tape, you put the tape somewhere, and just do this a few times. This way you're also able to collect not only fibers, but also quite a bit of dust, maybe also some pollen and whatnot, whatever is flying around. Yeah. And when we make it dark, here we go again. Yeah. Again, because it's on tape, it will not go completely black. Yeah. But it looks a little bit like modern art. A cover slip that has been floating on pond water for a couple of days and see what's growing on it. Basically, why not grow a biofilm on a cover glass? Thank you for the recommendation. I will do the following. I've got a couple of jars here with pond water. So what I have to try is to actually make them properly float without sinking. Actually, if they sink, it doesn't matter either. But essentially, if you take cover slips and put them on, never tried it, but maybe that's a good suggestion. If you let them float on a water sample, then basically microorganisms, algae, and so on will start to colonize directly on the glass surface, and then you can also directly observe it under the microscope. Yeah. So, but what I'm going to do now is the following. I think I'm just going to call it a day for today. yeah, so we've been doing a little bit of polarization microscopy, and you see that it's kind of easy to convert. If you joined in late, just a last very quick summary of what I have done. I mean, the video will of course be online. I've got this microscope here, yeah, which is a fairly straightforward microscope, and I converted it to polarization by adding on the bottom here, yeah, so a polarization filter, and also here in the top beneath, yeah, right here in the microscope head, yeah, this one over here, another polarization filter, yeah. And if you do that, then some of the specimens, again, not all of them, some of the specimens actually appear quite interesting. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly read the last comments that you have written here. Okay. And then I'm just going to say bye-bye and hope to see you again. Okay. Yeah, the link to the new Discord. Okay. Yeah. And the thing is the following: if I'm not quite sure, I'm currently extremely busy these days because in school also final examinations are going on and so on. And there are other appointments that I'm having. So in case I'm not able to make a live stream next week, I don't know yet, then I will try to actually pre-record something and put it as a premiere live. So this means that while I personally will not be live, then at least you can still join the chat and comment and have a little community discussion here. I'll try to be there, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to work out time-wise. Okay. Yeah. So I would like to say then, therefore, all the best, and hope you like the live stream, and hope to see you again in the future. Bye bye. Happy microbe hunting, everyone. All the best.